it would be like okay, you put the top teams in the NBA in one league, and then you make them play against each other all the
I
time.
mean, who wants to see the
Yo,
Lakers, Clippers?
this
You
dude
want to
is
see the Lakers
speaking
and Clippers
facts
play
right here.
all the time, like.
All right. Welcome. We have a special edition of an episode for you guys. If you've been living under a rock and you don't know what's going on with the soccer, there is a supposed Super League that's about to happen. This broke when Saturday or Sunday, right?
Sunday night.
Sunday night, yeah. And it had Twitter going crazy. The world stopped. I felt like it. And it's been a thing. I felt we usually record every 2 weeks, but I felt like we needed to address this now because it's still going on. So what I'll do is we'll talk about when you heard about it, how you feel about it, and what's going on now. So anybody wants to start on their feelings about it when they first heard it? Floor is yours.
Well, I don't have too much to say. I think this is interesting, especially with so much money being involved. From what I've read, I'm not too deep into soccer, but from what I read, it looked kind of scary. As far as like the collapse of a whole league or whatnot. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I know when anything collapses as an association, there's some speculation on the actual how will it maintain itself, the sustainability in the future.
Yeah, so basically the top elites of Europe want to make a league, a super league.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounds good, but
it is a thing. Like when I heard the news, I thought it was gonna be through UEFA initially, because I was like, okay, is this a new thing through UEFA? I'm gonna find out it's the owners of the big teams that are making a league, and I'm like, how is that gonna work? From so many angles.
You forgot to add quotation marks around elite.
Elite, yeah.
Because
but elite is not from a competitive, from like a money standpoint. These are the teams that have the money. Because Arsenal and Tottenham are not elite.
No disrespect, bro. But no disrespect, but Arsenal, Tottenham, Juventus, bro. Even my team, AC Milan, bro. Like, we're not a top 20 team in the world.
I love Arsenal.
Look, Arsenal is the best team in Europe. Best team in Europe. You can't tell me otherwise.
The days of Thierry Henry are over, okay?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Hey,
Arsenal, I love them.
Arsenal,
I'm not gonna cover my team.
Number one in Europe. Number one in England. Number one in Europe.
Okay.
You can't tell me otherwise.
Okay, fine. But I'm just dumbfounded that they're doing that. It's just the owners, and the objective is just more money based since they're losing, so much money because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
I'm more dumbfounded because, like, if this league does happen, how will it be sanctioned? Like, I don't know if it's a start through or the owners just think, because it's so much.
To me, I think they're doing this because it's supposed to be 12 of the top teams plus 3 other teams. Bayern Munich, PSG, and Dortmund. Those are like the top teams in their league. They're supposed to all come together. So I think what they're doing is like, the UEFA, it's always like the top teams that always make it to the finals.
Yeah.
They're looking at like, what if we put all of them in one league and then they play every week? It's like more people will come see those games because you want to see the top teams always play.
But are they really the top teams though?
That's the thing. Yes, that's the thing. Because
it's
you never
objective.
know. Because remember, was it 2 years ago when Leicester City won the Premier League? Like, they were a top team around that time. Every year there's a new team that is on the come up.
Yeah. Go back 5 years ago, Tottenham wasn't even top 5.
That's another cut.
Go back 5 years ago, Tottenham wasn't even top 5 in England.
Exactly. Yeah, you see Tottenham, that's a top team in the Premier League too.
But they just happened to be bought by somebody rich who had money, and money brought them up. But I mean,
I mean, that's the same thing with Chelsea.
I'm gonna say Chelsea and Man City are the biggest ones because if you look at like the before Drogba and them were Chelsea, so we'll say early 2000s. They were mid-table guaranteed.
Yep.
There was no top six. They were top six as one of the founding clubs of the Premier League, but they're mid-table. Yeah. As soon as they got a little bit of that money, money rules everything around me.
Yep.
So, and that's the same thing with City coming into the 2010s.
Yeah. You want to talk about historically good teams. The only historically good teams that were in that list was Barcelona, Real Madrid, AC Milan, Inter, and Juventus. That's really it.
And United.
Man United. My bad. I forgot that.
I would say Liverpool at 1.2.
But
I would say Liverpool.
Well, but I mean, before Klopp came there, I mean, they were just
they were just like Arsenal, bro.
Yeah.
Disrespect.
Hey.
No. Listen, Arsenal, Chelsea. Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool.
Number one in the league. Number one in Europe.
They're teams that are like this. They're not always a top team. And
that's the thing.
This league is ruining the competitive side of it.
But that's one way of looking at it. Or you could say, all right, you get the best teams. Like, you always want to see the best matchups all the time. So in reality, I'm opposed to it. But in reality, if you just look at it at that point, you're always going to get the best matchups. It's what people want. But at the same time, like, I get it. Yeah, no one wants to see it all the time. But it's what the people want.
I was gonna say, I mean, I get that whole point. Like, trust me, I get it whenever they say all that stuff. But it's like, okay, like, yeah, the whole world stops when Barcelona plays Real Madrid. When teams like that play against each other. The thing is, if you have them playing against each other every single week,
it's gonna die down.
After 2 years, maybe 3 years tops, I give it. It's not gonna be the same anymore. It's just gonna be any other regular league. I mean, think about it. There's gonna be a crop of those teams that sit at the bottom all the time, a crop of those teams that sit at the top, and then we're basically back to square one once again. It's just all these teams, they're not even, honestly, they're not even, I wouldn't even say be competitive for it, because think about it, they're just in it for the money.
Exactly. Well, no, it's all money. It's all money grab.
That's the thing. That's the thing I'm more, because it's like, if you do a league, right, and you don't have a middle party like UEFA and FIFA to like make sure there's rules and regulations, what's to say Perez and then the owner of Barcelona kind of like hack the league and say, hey, let's make sure our teams do this and do that. It's too much open area to cheat.
I think but all the owners have a say of what happens in the league. So it's the same thing. If something was to happen in the Premier League, like a rule change, like you need all the owners. You need a majority of the owners, let's say. I think like in the Premier League, because I think they're trying to boot out all the 6 teams when it first dropped, they need 75% of ownership to have it go through. So all the other 14 teams said no, but that's only 70% of the league. So you do need some type of there has to be a wide majority. It can't be like 51%. You need like a 75% to have something go through like that. So I think in reality, they could try to do some sneaky stuff, but at the same time, if all the owners are trying to make money and then they see somebody gaining the edge, they're like, whoa, stop, slow your brakes there, chief. We're not going to let that shit rock. So I think it would be more accountability on the owners trying to regulate it, which isn't the best thing, because at the same time, what do they know? They don't know much, because a lot of them are American who just I know how to make money. That's all I know. I don't know anything about football in Europe.
Exactly. And the thing is, honestly, it's like, I mean, do you ever really lose anyways? I mean, okay, yeah, you might have come in last, in the league or whatever when this league finishes, but how much money did you make? I mean, did you really lose?
No.
I mean, these teams are not playing for, the players, but like the people who are running these clubs, they're just in it for the money. They could care less about results and championships and all that bull crap.
Yeah.
I think, you see like Barcelona, Real Madrid, and the rest, these big teams that put a lot of money into buying players, the pandemic really hurt them, because now they can't get that income that they're used to when they're filling out those seats.
And because they got those big stadiums.
And they got those real big stadiums. So it's like they're thinking, hey, we need to get this money back. Because you got to look at it like there's no cap in these leagues.
No.
So and they literally buy players.
But that's another issue, is what I say, is it's like, okay, like okay, we get it. You're a rich club. You have all the money in the world, but then manage your money well. The only reason you're where you're at, okay, yes, half the pandemic, but also that, I mean, you're paying Messi $100 million. I mean, like, come on. Then you're paying the next dude probably like 75 million. Like, I mean, all these top players, you're paying them so much money. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not really smart, you know?
Yeah, and I think, like, you know, not to bring another top, but like, you know how the NBA, NFL, there's an association, there's a players association, there's more of a teamwork between every organization.
Mhm.
Soccer, you don't see that.
Yeah, I
Too
was
big.
make that
I mean,
question.
that has to do with like a lot more teams and it not
A lot
being
more
a big
teams
one.
and corruption.
Yeah.
There's no union, so
So how do
something
you-
like this, I wasn't too shocked that it happened because now, like, can they really stop? Can UEFA and FIFA really stop it, knowing their history?
I mean,
I don't know.
they
That's like,
go ahead, Avery. No,
okay,
Avery, you
I
got
just
it.
wanted to speak.
Okay. That's
So
cool.
that's a really good question because Europe has such a disdain almost for like large corporations, and you can see that mostly with our large tech giants like Google and Apple, who are trying to buy up a lot more of these popular platforms over there right now. And I think it was Facebook. They got hit with a very large tax in I want to say Denmark, but I was probably not right. But you get what I'm kind of saying here is they made certain practices illegal. So how do you think that's going to affect soccer and the sport in general in the future?
Yeah. So stuff like that, especially soccer being an older sport, regulation isn't a thing. You dig? So I wasn't too surprised when this happened. And I'm not too surprised that FIFA and UEFA are butthurt about this.
Yeah, because let's be honest. I mean, FIFA and UEFA, they've been corrupting themselves in the past too. But I mean, I think that the biggest thing was the fact that, I mean, I was reading that FIFA and UEFA have butt heads before, and they were kind of like I guess in limbo with each other. But the fact that they both came together and stood together against this,
yeah,
I mean, it just shows. I guess it just shows that they knew that was actually a threat, that the Super League was a threat. And I don't know. I'm hoping that maybe that, this happening actually gets them to, make some good changes for the sport. Because let's be honest, like UEFA, the Champions League, I mean, it could use some, some changes, some, I guess, tweaks here and there to make the competition better. But I mean, at the end of the day, what I say is if you want to play against the best, I mean, then just win the games that you got to win. I mean, Juve's lost to Ajax, Porto, and I forget who else in the last 3 years. I mean, these teams weren't even considered to be in the Super League.
Yeah, people have miracle runs. I mean, the years that I think Porto won a year and a couple was it 10, 20 years ago they won.
And that's the beautiful thing about the sport.
Yeah. I remember Liverpool had I think one of the biggest upsets in history 20 years ago. It was 2005 champion. Yeah. So stuff like this happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I think, this is something that was just an emergency.
It was.
We need money and they decided to do this. But what do you guys go?
I was gonna say it's emergency because they've really been playing this stuff for what I hear on the Arsenal side. They've been playing this for 3-4 years now, but the pandemic is it fast tracked it.
Fast tracked.
Because the same thing, yes. Because same thing I said in the group message on IG with all the teams in debt. Because a lot of, like you said, a lot of those teams bank on fans and stuff. I know for Real Madrid and Barcelona, I've seen videos where if you take away all the tourists that go to those cities, they came and sell 50% of the tickets. So what they really bank on is people, outsiders coming in, and then they overcharge on those tickets because I mean you want to see the best people. You want to see you want to see Messi play soccer in real life.
Yep.
So that's what really that's why those I think there's 3 teams left there saying hey, we're still rocking with the Super League. I think Madrid, Barcelona, and Juventus.
Yep.
So those are the teams that really need that money to come through because they are on the brink of going broke. I know in La Liga, they were already talking about playing games in the States just so they can make more money. to help those teams out, which is crazy. Like, bro, it's Spanish soccer. Like, it would be I'll be happy as hell if Madrid and Barcelona played at down at FedEx Field. Fucking insane.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have the same feel. Like you're not getting the rivalry here. You are, but you're not. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. I mean, you're changing basically every aspect of the game. I mean, like you think, like what he said, a Real Madrid Barcelona game is not going to be the same here as it would be in Spain.
I mean, teams have a backed out. I mean, shout out to all the fans out there. All the fans out there.
Yo, they really came together.
They really.
We came together because we fans too.
Yeah, I saw a picture, and I usually don't praise this team, but the Chelsea fans literally stopped a whole bus. And the goalkeeper should have saw his face. He was like,
Peter check?
Yeah,
I saw Peter check.
So, I mean, the fans came together and they stopped it. I think all the English teams have backed out. What do you guys think about them backing out now because of the pressure? Do you feel like they're doing it because of the fans or it's the rest?
It's because of the
I
fans.
think it's half and half. I think it's half the fans and half the players because the fact that, I kept saying, I remember in the group chat, like, I forget who it was, kept saying like, oh, you don't think that, they would have talked to their top players about this, like, making such a drastic move like that? And I'm like, I can guarantee you that they did not talk to the players or the coaches about any of this stuff. I mean, you've seen it happen in the NBA and the NFL too. They don't care about their players. And at the end of the day, they care about what makes them more money.
Yep.
That's all they care about. So, and then they came out, the players and agents were speaking out because they weren't told about this. They weren't, talked to about this face to face. And I was like, yep. I just knew it was going to blow up in their faces. Because, I mean, one, the fans were doing what they were doing. And then two, I mean, if your players are showing that they're, concerned and everything, I mean, that's a big problem. Like I said, I mean, I'm pretty sure the majority of these players take more pride in playing for their country than they do playing club soccer. Like, yeah, they make the money playing club soccer, but I mean, it's every little soccer player's dream to play in the World Cup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, a guy like Florentino Perez, the owner of Real Madrid, he could give two flying whatever about what players think. I mean, this guy has bought he don't care.
He got money.
What do you guys think of the little PR stunt that the Super League was doing for all the smaller teams? They were talking about $10 billion across 23-year span to help get these teams out the code.
I didn't even know
that was just the teams in the league. That's not including any other teams in the world. It was just the 15 teams that were in the Super League.
Yeah.
So they could care less about the smaller clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
where the sentiment is not very strong and why people are very upset about this. I mean, this is a huge ordeal that could change the face of the league in this region, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, the way I think about it, you also got to put yourself in the shoes of like, smaller clubs and their fans, like a team like Torino in Italy. I mean, when they go up against Juventus, I mean, it's a big week for them. It's, it's I forget what derby it is that it's called when they play against each other, but
yeah, I forgot.
But they have a rivalry. So when they play against each other, it's a big deal. And usually it comes out a good game, even though Juventus is supposed to be far and above better than them. But I mean, you take away those kind of moments, from smaller clubs, from fans like that, who now can't watch their team play against a team like that and then beat them, every now and then and beat them sometimes.
I mean, like I always say, to be the best, you got to be the best. And you can't, although the idea, I've heard about it in the past, because UEFA was talking, I do remember a few years ago, they were talking about doing a Super League, and there's been rumors. But if you're gonna do it, you can't make it inclusive to just rich teams. That doesn't make it a Super League, you know what I'm saying? But
I don't even think there should be one. To be honest, there shouldn't be.
I mean, that's the chance.
I feel like the Champions League is essentially that.
Yeah.
It would be like okay, you put the top teams in the NBA in one league, and then you make them play against each other all the time.
I mean, who wants to see the
Yo,
Lakers?
this dude is
see the Lakers
speaking
and Clippers
facts
play
right here.
all the time. Like
This dude is speaking facts right here.
Who wants to just see the Lakers, Clippers, Philly, and the Nets?
yeah, that's why.
Yo, it'll be entertaining for a season or two, but after that,
it's like it's gonna be like, oh,
Like-
it's gonna die down.
Like when the Nuggets beat the Clippers, I know you're gonna get excited. You, Sean, you're gonna get excited. But when the Nuggets beat the Clippers,
yeah,
that was exciting. We were
It
like,
was
oh
exciting.
my
Yeah,
God.
because
It's like
no one thought Denver could beat them. Denver was not even considered a top. They were a top team, but not to the level as the Clippers or even the Lakers. But they beat them, right? And they're not
you
even
could call
a market team.
Javon.
They're a small market team. So
Well-
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
you got to give these smart market teams a chance to play these elite teams because you never know if they'll beat them.
yeah, I mean,
Exactly. It happens in every sport.
Yeah.
every sport has it. Football. Look, man, football, you can't even do something like that. Somebody has a Cinderella story every year in football. Like
That's what March Madness is built on. I mean, think about that. I mean, that's like it. Like the way I put it, it's like how Sean said it. I mean, you basically would take you take the top 25 teams in college basketball and just have them play against each other. Then it's like, okay, then you don't have, the 64, I think it's 64 teams or whatever.
Yeah.
And you don't have those Cinderella stories or whatever, where these little colleges or whatever are out here, beating ranked colleges, ranked teams.
And to your point, if that was the case, and they did some stuff like that, the Ravens would have never won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
They literally beat Denver, who was Peyton was going crazy that year, and then they beat Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you need stuff like it makes the sport exciting, and I'm glad that even though Barcelona and Real are still they in some stupid debt, so I'm not surprised they with it.
Hold on, wait. Quick pushback. Like, just to talk about the UEFA. Like, UEFA, I think they're really the biggest problem in this whole situation, and the reason why that they let the teams want to make their own league. Because reading on it, just let's say Real Madrid versus Bayern Champions League final.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just hearing from fan experiences, let's say 100% capacity, boom. Usually it's 25% goes to Real fans, 25% goes to Bayern fans, and really the other 50% goes to higher ups. Like, we're talking government figures, whole lot of corporation deals. That's what I think that's what really kills it for the team.
Those splits, I remember you said something about the splits with the Super League compare. Those splits don't make any sense. And that's why I said this is a very political move.
Yeah. It's all, like I said, it's all money. Because UEFA was taking a good push. Even though the winnings, Real Madrid has won, I don't know how many Champions League finals in the last 10 years. And why?
Last 10 years, my bad.
Well, okay, let's just say, last 10 years. You would think that that's one team that shouldn't be in debt. You win a Champions League, you should be set money-wise. Yeah, they have fucked up a lot money-wise, but at the same time, the amount of money you think they would win, UEFA takes a good chunk of that away. So that's the reason. That's what also fucks them over. It's UEFA is just they're just being a bully and just taking money away from the winners.
And that's what gets me. I'm about to say a story, but that's what gets me to these associations that run these leagues and stuff. I remember the World Cup 2014. I don't know, Sean, you remember this? The 3 African teams, it was Cameroon, Nigeria, Ghana, right?
Yeah.
When they went to the World Cup, they took was it second class flights in 3-star hotels.
Yeah. I remember that.
They had to train in some shitty places in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why they didn't do well, because some of them were striking because they didn't get their bonus. When you qualify for the World Cup, you're supposed to get your money, right?
Yeah.
They get it. So
yeah, I get that, but let's be honest, the Brazil World Cup wasn't really all that. Money-wise, they wasn't prepared for it.
Money-wise, everything-wise, it wasn't 20.
Everything it was trash, but this is but what I'm trying to say is
no. I get your point. Though that the African team they did that to them. I mean, if they're speaking about fairness, then
Thank you.
they should, they shouldn't be hypocritical themselves. Which is why I said, like, yeah, UEFA, they need to change. They need to change some things. They definitely do. Because what Shamar said, like, I actually had never heard about that, and I'm pretty sure for the NBA Finals and the Super Bowl, I'm pretty sure those splits are not like that. I'm pretty sure they're more than 50%, actual fans or whatever that are there at those games.
Yep.
Also, on the UEFA, like having international friendlies, like Lewandowski got hurt in a friendly. Like I heard this on the Arsenal podcast against some no-name, like let me not say no-name country, but like super tiny country, and you end up missing like a champion. He missed both legs of the Champions League quarterfinal against PSG, and I think they only lost by 1 goal. Like over the 2 legs, they lost by 1 goal. So it's just to think that if he would have played, Bayern could be going into the semifinals against beating PSG, but then at the same time, like then UEFA is like, well, I mean, we can't do anything. Like he chose to play for his country, but you set up all these stupid international friendlies during the hardest part of the season towards the end, or like where like everybody's season is starting to get a little juicy. Like if you look at all the tables across the Europe, either they're closed or the people are fighting for Champions League spots. Mm-hmm. Like I think Bayern's kind of already solidified, so they're really worried about the Champions League. So you kind of just fuck them over. Like he misses 2 legs, like he's a key player.
But at the same time, what I would say about that is if you're him, like, there's plenty of other friendlies that you play in throughout the season. But if you got, 2 big games coming up like that, like, why would you risk it, playing a friendly? I mean, like, I get it, like, UEFA shouldn't be doing that. But, I mean, him as a player, I mean, you're just taking, a 1 day, a 1 game break. Like, you're a lot more valuable right now to your club team. If it was like a World Cup qualifier game, like, okay, I would get that. But usually, they don't schedule the World Cup qualifiers, while the season is going on. But something like that, I mean, I would just say like,
but they do, because what's it called? Well, at least for the under-21s, the Olympic under-21s qualification, like Arsenal had a couple of players that played during probably the last international break. They played 3 games. So it's like, at the same time, like Arsenal is one of the teams where they really have relied heavy on some younger talent to carry them through the season. So it's like, you say, Peter?
I was gonna say, sorry, Shamar, but they've done that for way too long, and they just sell them and make profit.
Oh no, I know that, but at the same but that goes back to the point where like UEFA has control on essentially the European teams on when they play their friendlies and stuff and like qualification tournaments.
Well, UEFA and FIFA, because the World Cup is FIFA. That's not. No, I think it was the Olympics. It is FIFA.
Olympic?
Oh, okay.
100%. But yeah, but at the same time, well, they both are one and the same in reality.
Okay. Yeah,
so they both need to make changes. They do. They both need, to square some stuff away, because I mean, yeah, you don't want a guy like Lewandowski missing 2 important, games, like you said, against PSG to try and send them to the semis. I mean, I think actually, you think about it, they didn't even lose by a goal. I think they lost by a goal because PSG had more away goals, didn't they?
Away goals, yeah.
Yeah, probably. That's so the case where like
it wasn't even a goal that they lost by. Yeah.
Yeah, Lewandowski makes a big difference in that game.
I know for sure. No, that's what I'm adding to your point that I mean, like that something like that shouldn't have happened. I mean, it does ruin the competition just a little bit.
That's another rule. That away goal rule is another rule that I have been up and down about, because
I have nothing against that one.
It's helped my team, and it's also cost my team. That's a personal thing.
That's give and take.
It's give and take.
It's really give and take, but I know it cost somebody's team down there. But
I mean, think about it. It's harder to play on the road, man. If you win on the road, they give you, that that extra. What's it called? Extra help. So.
But it always works to the advantage of the team that's playing on the road first.
That is true.
Yeah,
that is very true. To their favor.
But that's the point.
Because then, if they go with a draw, then it makes it easier for them to even score. And if they score, it's a really good thing.
Yeah. When you think about it, though, if the away team in the first game doesn't score, and let's say it ends 0-0, all the pressure's on them at home now. So I mean, you get equal chances. I mean, if you're the home team and you play how you're supposed to play, and you get out of there not conceding any goals, now all the pressure's on the other team going into the second game, and now you guys can play a little bit more, freely and loose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember this in the past. I'm forgetting the matches, but there have been a couple where I have to literally calculate how many away goals or like what they because it gets to a point where it's like it gets that tricky. But yeah, this is the last thing I'll probably touch on. Do you guys think this league is gonna actually be a thing, or do you think it's gonna be?
As much as I hate it, I think it will at some point.
Within the next 5 years, it will be a thing.
Unless FIFA and UEFA, like especially UEFA, does something about the whole Champions League and Europa League. Unless they do something about that, if they don't do anything about that, then I definitely think within like the next 5 years, it'll definitely be a real possibility.
I think as much as fans have argued, the competition side of this is strictly a political thing. So
there's no competition. It's about the richest teams.
It's about the rich. It's about the riches and people's getting their pie and people getting their. So, me personally, UEFA, not necessarily FIFA, but UEFA has to get into this, and they have to.
Well, I just say FIFA too, because FIFA's not innocent here either. Let's be honest.
Yeah, they're not.
They've had their fair share of scandals and
there's
problems.
There's a World Cup in fucking middle of the season next year or 2 years.
Yeah,
next year.
Like how did Qatar get a?
It was supposed to be.
That baffles me. That baffles me. Like there's no way, dude.
It was supposed to be in England, but because of this and Sepp Blatter,
money talk. Look,
it's gonna be in the middle of the winter.
Yeah, because it's the only time they can play in Qatar.
Yeah,
if they play in the summertime, everybody gonna die off rip. Right, that shit don't make no sense. Like, come on now, like.
Sense, but quit look at Qatar.
But what I'm about to say, it's like it's not in a country, like, not to say like every country that hosted should have some soccer history, but like name me a Qatar soccer player.
Cricket.
Exactly. Like, bro, like you think about all the past World Cups, you can at least name like at least some famous like world-class player from each country. Maybe South Africa is maybe like a question mark.
No. South Africa had an ambassador. Nelson Mandela and that whole thing.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah.
Isn't South Africa the first African country they did?
Yeah.
Is that so? That's different.
Yeah, that is different.
They have an ambassador. Who is the ambassador of Qatar?
Man, that was a great World Cup that South Africa won.
2010 World Cup.
Fantastic one.
That was a great World Cup.
We were
heartbreakers for the Ghanaians.
Yeah.
About it.
We made history. They still made history, but Torres.
Hey, that's the one where America beat him, right?
No, that was
2014.
Yeah, 2010 was when
America beat Ghana.
Okay.
When Luis had Suarez had the handball on the line that basically fucked over Ghana.
Oh, that was
Bro, we were in the country when that happened. When I tell you that it felt like somebody died that day.
Nobody was. It was like quiet, like you could hear the crickets.
Like I never seen a whole country. But yeah, I mean,
dude, that talking about that kind of brings me to like I remember when the U.S. was playing against what's it called, Belgium, and they were in extra time and they were playing a great World Cup. They were playing a great game, and then Lukaku just breaks every single American.
Right. Oh yeah, yo, that was the what was his name? What was his name? The goalkeeper,
Tim Howard.
Tim Howard.
Bro, he was having the game of his life, dude. The game of his life. And then Lukaku just dropped an atomic nuke on all of America.
Yeah. And I remember that same World Cup, the game against Portugal. I'm like, we about to beat Ronaldo in Portugal. And then this man scores in the 94th minute.
Goddamn. Well, try again in 4 years, fellas. Here we go.
Yeah, so,
Peter probably thought he had FIFA turned on or something. Like, yo, what is this?
Like, America is about to beat Portugal with Ronaldo. Oh my God! But he had to remind the world he's Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But Yeah.
But hey, 2026 US it's coming here, baby, and we're gonna have some fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
US right now,
It
the
makes
US
a
soccer team. Right now.
because
Hey, it don't matter about the team. It's all about where it is, and it's gonna be in the US, well, Mexico and Canada. So that's just lit. Like you can say that.
but
I had a chance to
regardless,
go
you know,
to the
you
World
can
Cup.
play at the right time of the year in
Exactly.
these countries,
Yeah.
not in the
say-
middle of the freaking winter, dude.
Yeah. Like,
The last. Go.
no. Go ahead.
I'll say the last World Cup that was in the States was in '94.
Yeah, the Chicago.
Yeah, I was.
Well,
We
what was the
wasn't.
first
We
game in
wasn't
Chicago?
even. Well, I wasn't born.
I was born.
I know Shamar wasn't born.
Damn, Peter, you old
Younger
as
than me.
hell.
Man, I was born in '94. Man, listen, man. Oh, I get.
Old as hell.
He's an old head, bro. He's an old head.
Yeah, I mean, can't you see? He looks like the
Yeah.
fucking Cedric the Entertainer character off Barbershop.
Right, he's gonna take that on the chin.
Hey man, I was going to chill. They started to chill on the light skin joke, Shamar Moore.
Hey. He's a good looking guy. He's a good looking guy.
I
Hey.
think Peter's touched enough on this subject, man. I don't think we need to
No,
go
let-
back.
let me do my
I don't think
life-
we need to go back.
Let me do the smart shit.
He said, "Hey, all right, we'll wait until the next. We'll wait until the next episode. If we really want to
All
get
right,
into the
yeah,
next episode."
we'll get back to that, but just to close because we need to. Yeah, I think this issue will resolve itself, and we'll get back to soccer being somewhat normal. You know, it's been a rough 2 years for the sport, honestly.
Now, I got a question for everybody. Like, because I know none of us are for the Super League. Let's say it would have happened, and it let's put us in a hypothetical like it did happen.
Mhm.
Would you still support your team?
Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah.
I'll pick another team in Premier League to
it's just-
cheer for.
I-
my team from the point where I'm playing the best teams in Europe, and I want my team to beat the best, but
I'll go ahead and yeah.
it
See,
won't be the same.
Right now, I watch soccer, but I don't watch it like how I used to. So I'll still support Barcelona, but I don't really care for that stupid. It doesn't mean anything. Like,
I'll go ahead and say it because I said it on my Twitter. I would not, dude. I would stop supporting Milan if it would have actually happened and they did that. Because I mean, they're basically supporting a cause that it's like that I'm against. So I mean,
yeah, I was gonna bring something up controversial, but it would be too controversial for me to say. But it's
I have 15 left.
yeah, okay. I was gonna say it's kind of like with these issues, social issues. Do you still support the teams even though they don't support that issue?
I mean, that's another thing, dude. That actually I'll keep it short, but like how fast UEFA and FIFA were to try and disband the Super League and everything, but when it comes to racism, they do little to minimal about it, little to nothing about it.
They don't care. Eventually, like that's with all leagues. I would say that's with all professional. You're just
no
a pawn to
professional
them.
sports league. No professional
You're just a
sports league.
pawn.
I mean, has honestly done anything about racism, about the subject of racism.
Shout out
Like,
to the
if
NBA.
I would say the NBA is the closest thing that's to it, but at the same time,
but shout out to the NBA.
well, the NBA is more like it's a more African American minority dominant sport. So like, of course they have to cater, but like soccer in Europe,
But
is
even then, I
Yeah.
would say mostly the players are the ones that are doing stuff
Yeah.
about it. It makes it look like it's the league, but it's not actually the league. It's the players.
It's LeBron James and what's the thing what's the thing he has called his little company? I forgot.
the I Promise School,
No,
the school,
he
or
has
the,
his crew. I forgot what they're called. But Mav Carter and Rich Paul, they
yeah, they take care. I mean, they do. Yeah, they do all like the heavy lifting for LeBron.
they really do all. Yeah.
Now I don't know what LeBron does, but at the same time, I mean, if he says something like it's the same thing with the All-Star game. If he says like I don't want to play, as everybody saw, a lot of the players are like, "Well, LeBron ain't playing. I guess we ain't playing."
Yeah.
That's how powerful he is. But
Yeah,
to wrap up, because we have to. I want to thank you guys for coming up, making the time to do this at this time. I know it's not easy, but Yeah, so for the league, please don't do it, even though I know it's gonna happen. But yeah, you can catch us out of the Berg. We'll put this on Saturday in the afternoon sometime, so you'll catch us. We'll be on every podcasting service either this weekend or Monday. That's what we'll try to, put ourselves out. But yeah, out of the Berg on IG. Mine is at Kofi Peter _ on IG and Twitter. Rod, you could go if you want to see your IG.
Oh, my IG. I don't even know what it is.
Man, Mr. Popularity. He just like, man,
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me pull my
Dude.
phone out real quick. Damn.
Dude, I don't
I
be-
forgot what
I
it was
don't-
again, but maybe I have to check.
I don't be on
Double check.
Instagram, man. Twitter is the superior app. I don't be on Instagram. Well, Instagram is Rodrigo15 Flores.
Uh-huh.
And then my Twitter is basically the same. It's just Rod15 Flores.
All right, Big Shema.
Sham _wild 12.
Avery.
Yeah, I have finally unlocked my Twitter. It took forever, but it's done. Anyway,
Hey.
I've been practicing
Welcome to the
for the
Twitter
past
fam.
year and a half. But anyway, my Twitter is Averything with a 3 instead of an E.
Oh.
And you can find me on IG at Avery Cooper, capital KOOPA.
And Big Sean.
Actually,
IG no Sean _ the boss.
You're not Rick Ross, please. Don't.
Mhm.
Yeah, unless you want to
to
pick up the pounds and start eating.
Mm. That lemon
Alright,
pepper
y'all.
chicken.
Base is boss.
lemon pepper chicken. Yo, you're making me hungry, bro.
Hungry as fuck right now.
All right, y'all. Stay out. Be safe out there. Stay black. Stay woke. We love y'all. Peace. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Out of the Berg podcast. We're available on all podcasting platforms, and we ask that you like, comment, share, and subscribe, as well as hit that notification bell. That way you'll be notified whenever we release a new video. And as always, we like you, we love you, but we gotta go. Bye.